Summary of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Bardo Thödol. Nature of the text. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, traditionally known as the Bardo Thödol, Liberation Through Hearing in the Intermediate State, is a central funerary and spiritual text in Tibetan Buddhism. It functions as a guide for consciousness during death, the after-death state, and rebirth. Authorship and Transmission. The text is traditionally attributed to Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche, in the 8th century and later revealed by Karma Lingpa in the 14th century as a terma, hidden treasure teaching. It reflects tantric Buddhist doctrine rather than historical authorship in the modern sense. Meaning of Bardo. The term bardo refers to an intermediate or transitional state. While commonly associated with the period between death and rebirth, Tibetan Buddhism recognizes multiple bardos throughout life, including meditation and dreaming. Purpose of the text. The primary aim of the Bardo Thödol is liberation from cyclic existence, samsara. By recognizing the true nature of reality during the bardos, consciousness can attain enlightenment or a favorable rebirth. Oral recitation. The text is traditionally read aloud to the dying person or the deceased. Hearing the instructions is believed to awaken recognition and clarity, even after physical death. The moment of death, Chikai Bardo. At the moment of death, consciousness encounters the clear light, Odi Sol, the ultimate reality of pure awareness. Recognizing this light leads to immediate liberation. Failure to recognize the clear light. Most beings fail to recognize the clear light due to ignorance and habitual attachments. This failure propels consciousness into the next Bardo phase. The Bardo of Reality, Koniad Bardo. In this stage, peaceful and wrathful deities appear as manifestations of one's own mind. These visions are symbolic expressions of enlightened and unenlightened mental states. Peaceful deities. The peaceful deities represent compassion, wisdom, and enlightened awareness. Recognizing them as projections of the mind leads toward liberation. Wrathful deities. The wrathful deities symbolize fear, aggression, and ignorance. They are not external punishers but expressions of inner psychological forces. Role of fear and attachment. Fear arises when the mind misidentifies these visions as external threats. Attachment to ego and form prevents recognition of their true nature. Karma and mental habit. The experiences in the bardo are shaped by karma, understood as deeply ingrained mental tendencies rather than divine judgment. The text emphasizes personal responsibility for one's mental conditioning. The Bardo of Becoming, Sidpa Bardo. If liberation is not achieved, consciousness enters the Bardo of Rebirth. Here, desire and aversion drive the process toward a new incarnation. Rebirth process. The text describes how attraction to potential parents leads to rebirth. This process is driven by ignorance and craving, reinforcing the cycle of samsara. Ethical implications. The Bardo Thödol underscores the importance of ethical living, meditation, and mindfulness during life. Preparation for death begins long before dying. Psychological interpretation. Modern interpreters view the text as a profound psychological map of consciousness, trauma, fear, and ego dissolution rather than a literal afterlife geography. Impermanence and non-self. The text reinforces core Buddhist teachings of impermanence, anicca, and non-self, anatta. Liberation requires letting go of fixed identity. Compassionate guidance. The text speaks gently and repeatedly reassures the consciousness, reflecting Buddhism's emphasis on compassion even in the face of death. Influence beyond Tibet. Since its translation into Western languages in the 20th century, the book has influenced psychology, comparative religion, philosophy, and end-of-life care. Enduring significance. The Tibetan Book of the Dead remains a profound spiritual manual, offering a vision of death not as annihilation,